harmonious, state regarding the market economy. Regarding the language, the ASEAN, yeah, they wanted to have an English, they want it to be an English language. Aside from the Philippines, most countries have a difficulty in in communicating in English properly.
With regards to the language barrier, it's already well known not only in the ASEAN community that English is the universal language, and only in ideology, if we cannot go beyond that, then we are still committed in our thinking. We have to be open to change, to be better, rather than to stay stagnant in our beliefs, our techniques, and also in regards to the economic in the ASEAN, the lower countries, it's very advantageous because it will help them to achieve much easier development in their economy, and you see if we cannot set aside those, just as I said earlier, and even though that for the higher countries they don't see much of a investment to help the countries, it will give it plays a vital role in being a catalyst to improve and to bloom the global cycle community economy.
For the language barrier, as we all know that we have different cultures and beliefs, and this may kind of lead to misunderstanding and conflicts. Also for the advanced technology, also other countries have advanced technology than us. Then it is their way to take advantage in our, not only in our country but to those other countries also which has less info and technologies, knowledge, and
why would it allow the foreigners to invest or practice in the Philippines? As you said that technologies, we are far behind. So we allow foreigners to endorse their new techniques, knowledge, and practice here in Philippines so that we will be able to put up and to change our environment so that we will become adapt to their dental practices. about the dental profession. So, as a dentist, you should not as a dentist, you should not be standing in your that's not
With regards to advancement of technologies, yes, we can accept the advancement of technologies from the outside world, outside countries, but we have to also mind that it will be an advantage to skilled labor foreigners, for example, foreign dentists, and if they will be allowed here to practice and to practice here in our country. And how about our local practitioners? How about our local dentists? What will they become? They will be somehow like be outcasted in our country because as the Filipino people would usually favor for the foreigners. Okay. Throughout our group, I would like to request all the group to stand up. These are the people who believes and allows. Thank you. All I can say, 4 words. Some are faces. Sorry. Economic dynamism, prosperity, growth, and development. If we don't believe, how can we act? If we don't take risks, how can we stand up? If we will not move in that chair, how can we stand on the ground and say, I believe? We, the group, allows ASEAN blueprint to be done. Because we believe that 2 heads is better than 1. And Philippines, local dentists, Filipino, they will never remain stagnant. Filipino people are fighters. We believe. And the only thing that we can do as pro people is to take risk. Because life is taking risk. Guys, good morning, mates. Does Asian Economic Community, will it help our country and the dentists that are practicing in our country? Will it do good to our country or it will not? Well, our group are into the cons or into the contra party. So first, we must question or ask ourselves, is our country prepared and ready for this kind of recognition or mutual recognition from other countries? Well, the Philippine Management Association of the Philippines, or PMA, is anxious over the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015. Why? Because the Philippines, especially its labor force, is not fully prepared for the open market. So Philippines is not prepared, and it doesn't have a common roadmap yet, which is essential to this kind of community. And after numerous consultations, which the PMAC done with our country, inside the country, it is really not ready to face the reality of integration. As they all know, on the opening remark, European Union, which is a good working model of mutual recognition. And you know what? Recognition, the mutual recognition, which is the EU, is currently facing a huge problem in their midst. So what is this problem? This is bankruptcy. So we would differentiate, or we would like look it up to this kind of community, because we are getting this concept in EU. And now we talk about language. So they're talking about language because we are using the universal language as English. So therefore, having this community will do good in our country. But let's question ourselves. Yes, we use English language as the universal language. But if we base it on the Filipino or our country, do we have more educated people than uneducated people? If we look up the scale, there are lots and lots of Filipinos that are uneducated, and this is because of our poor educational system. Not to mention that our country started the 12K educational system just years ago, or last year, 2K, K-12 educational system. So this will put much threat in our midst. So another one is culture. So different countries have different cultures, and with regards to culture, there are also different beliefs associated with that culture. And so different cultures, when they would come here, they would cause a threat to our system, or cause a threat to the Filipino people. Especially that the economic designers have not yet agreed on the universal ethics. So they have not yet agreed to a universal ethic that will be observed and made operative once ASEAN 2015 is implemented. So it's almost 2015 and there's no universal ethics that has been imposed yet. And there is possible danger with regards to that. For instance, if the ASEAN creates a powerful economic engine without some generally recognized ethical norms agreed upon by each member state, then it might put an environmental at risk. So if our country is working or in accord with the ASEAN and we have no universal ethics, that would pose a threat to the Filipino people, knowing that we have not yet implemented or created this universal ethics. So, economic instability of our country. Our country, when ranked upon these 10 countries, are below. It is below the line. One of the countries that are, especially Singapore, is number 1, followed by Indonesia, followed by Myanmar, Malaysia, and then Thai. So the Philippines is one of the 2 or below the line. And if this country, if we would have this ASEAN community, economic community, there it would pose a threat. Especially one of the example is the entry of imported products, which is known as the free flow of goods, right? So if there's free flow of goods, then the local market is in danger, especially the Philippines, which have low economic and instability as of the moment. So this will pose a huge threat to local manufacturers as they fight over the market share. So one example is Kopiko in Indonesia, which is already selling their products, which is the coffee, Kopiko, over 50 countries worldwide and commands a significant share in business in the country. So that would pose a threat to one of our local markets here in the country. As we all know, Filipinos usually like to buy foreign products than our own. You know that because you do buy imported products than local products. So technology, it is said that our country is low of technology or below the technology that other countries have, like Singapore. They have the trains, the underground trains. They have much more than our country, and they are now categorized as first world country. First world. And what is the Philippines? A third world country. So if we have this less technology and this other dentists would come inside our country and would put up a clinic and practice, would you think that the Filipino people would go for the local dentists, which have less, and the technology is like decades of older than the new dentists from the other country? Do you think that the Filipino would have this saying that Filipino for Filipino? No. So this is called as the racial preference. We all know that I'm not yet insulting our racial race, but Filipinos are being insulted all over the world. Like seriously, even in the websites, Facebook, YouTube, we are insulted worldwide. And if we would put up, for example, especially in Indonesia, if we would put up a practice there, do you think that the people living in Indonesia would prefer to have their dental treatment on a Filipino person? And not to mention that that Filipino person have they think that our education system here is less than what they have there. So they would prefer their own than ours. And especially in the Philippines, Filipino would prefer the foreigners. So it is said that taking risks, there should be taking risks. We should take risks so that we would know if we would prosper our country, so we could pay the debts that our country is currently facing right now. We all know that our country have like billions of dollars debt in the U.S. Last year, our President Noynoy Aquino have already accessed the money or the gold bars that was stored in Switzerland. So that's gold bars was already used to pay some of our debts. And yes, we may have the debts, but taking the risk also would mean that if this system failed, then our country would also fail and would be facing a serious problem when it comes to the debt, which would pile up more if this would fail. So let's now take back to what I said earlier. This concept was taken from EU, the European Union, and right now EU is facing bankruptcy. So if we would have this system in our country and this would fail like the EU, then let's think and let's try to think, if EU would fail, which is a more civilized and more improved system than our own, then how can this ASEAN be 100% successful if the EU was not even successful to start with? So there might be a huge scale of failure for this